Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualist Society. It is a pleasure to welcome you all back online on this gloriously sunny day. Now, I apologise for the change in timings this evening, but life does occasionally get in the way, and today it certainly did. But we are here, we are together. And really, my friends, that's what counts. Coming together in common cause to prove life eternal and show that the community of the human family really does exist. And by coming together online, we are defying those that would say that we would never survive this, that we would not be able to survive as a community, a nation, as a planet. Look at us all, we're carrying on. In the words of Churchill, and I will use the edited version, KBO. And you'll have to Google that to find out what it means. So welcome one and all. Thank you for coming. I've got lots of people waiting in the green room. But first and foremost, our primary introduction as ever is our medium for this evening, the one and only Martin Quigley. Welcome him up. Good evening, Martin.
Good evening, Nick.
Can you hear me? That's the main thing.
I can hear you, Nick. Good evening, everyone. This is a bit different for me. This is my first time over Skype or over the phone. You can get me standing, but this is different. So we'll trust in spirit and we'll see what happens this evening.
And that's absolutely right. And, you know, to be honest with you, perfect example. First time I'd ever done a demonstration over the internet was 2 weeks ago. And I've been in this way of life 20 years. So, you know, it's a long old stretch. And it does feel strange. I will not deny that. But spirit do look after us all the time. And you know, as a medium, you've experienced those moments on the platform when you've had a bit of a rough day and you're not feeling it. And then all of a sudden, the spirit overtakes you. And they do look after us. So have a wonderful evening, Martin. And welcome back to Littleport, albeit via cyberspace.
Pleasure.
So we're actually working on various levels tonight, the physical level, the cyber level, and of course the spirit level too. So absolutely fantastic. It's a 3-4, and they do say that 3 is the magic number, don't they? So once again, thank you for coming. Now, she's sitting there waiting. She has a wonderful aura about her, although she's rather annoyed by it. But I did say it's all to do with aperture more than anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, she's back this week again, of course. Please welcome Principal Minister of the New Christian Spiritualist Society, and frankly, my good mate, Reverend Lynn. Good evening, my darling. How are you?
Good evening. And as you say, I'm irritated very much by the light.
Which is a first for you, if I may say so.
I know. I think it's them upstairs playing tricks again on me.
Well, they do like doing that, don't they?
They do indeed. I'm looking forward very much to this evening and hearing your address, dear Rev Nick, and the reading by Rev Alan, and also, of course, Martin, to your demonstration of mediumship. I'm looking forward very much to that. So thank you for agreeing to come into the to come into the den.
That's it. It's the firing line, but you got to give it a go. So first time for everything, Lynn.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do like to think that our den is more of iniquity than anything else.
I didn't say anything about iniquity. Only Swaki Mally Ponce, dear Reverend.
Now that's another language entirely, my love. So thank you. So what have you been up to this week then, Reverend?
Are you asking me?
Well, yes. What have you been up to? What have you been doing with yourself this week? I'm sure people would like to know.
I've been doing various broadcasts. I've been talking about the difference between sort of psychic and spirit work, and demonstrating that. So I've done flower readings and a bit of contact. I've even done cards. That was the latest one. I actually talked about the use of tools, and I decided, well, them upstairs decided that it was time for me to talk to people about cards. And then, of course, I had to demonstrate that as well. So if anybody's interested, they can just sort of look on YouTube, because they're on YouTube. Just look at Lynn Gibdiswalt, and you'll see these videos that I made of these various, demonstrations.
Absolutely. And I have to admit, that really does lead me into what I was going to speak about tonight. Because obviously everything at the moment is all up in the air and changed. And I don't know if you saw, I'm sure everyone at home saw me open my mouth and close my mouth when you mentioned cards. I've known you over 20 years now, Lynn, and I know how you feel.
Listen, I must tell you that when I was in Israel, talking about 20 years, when I was in Israel, there was a top card reader there who booked lessons with me, and she used to come to me once a week, and I had to ask them upstairs what I was going to do. And each week we went through the whole pack with her and did meditations and so on and so forth. And apparently she then went on to amass absolutely hundreds and thousands of pounds as being the best, the very best. I must say also, can I give a plug to Psychic World newspaper? Because, of course, my latest article has come out in there this month. If anybody's interested as well, they can subscribe to that.
Brilliant. And I've actually had a read of it already, and it's very, very worth a read. Very worth a read. So, yes, plug the Psychic World away. But and this is how spirit works, because even as I was about to start speaking my address based on what you'd said, you added to it even more in the direction that it was going to go, because I know your former frustrations with tools and devices. But one of the things that life is teaching us at the moment is to expand our horizons, to expand our field of vision, our field of thought, expand on our knowledge and our wisdom, and do things that we haven't necessarily done before. That gentleman there is living proof of that tonight, bless his heart. And that young lady down there getting cards out publicly is also proof of it. Because, my friends, we're all in a very different situation than we were a few months ago. So when it comes to being in a very different situation, what we have to understand is that everything around us changes. Not just us, but the people, the situations. But how we react and how we respond doesn't necessarily change. What it does is it becomes more emphasized, built upon, more emphatic in its response. That's human nature, and that's who we are and what we do. But what we have to recognize is that in times like this, we should never make any rash decisions. We should never make any judgments based on the moment. We always have to have an eye to the future. We should never abandon the moment for the future. But what we should do is keep an eye on both. This is why in mythology, there's a Greek god, I believe, right, a Roman or Greek god called Janus, but they're all the same, really, just the same characters with different names that translated differently by the cultural determination of their location at the given time. But that's a story for another day. But Janus had a head looking forward and a head looking backward, because he was aware that in order to build a better future, you must have an eye on the past. We must always look forward and look back with equal measure, because only those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. But also, those who forget that they have a future tend to forget about living for today. In this way of life, we have huge swathes of people taking an interest in what we're doing. We as mediums and as ministers and as representatives and ambassadors of spirit have a duty and a responsibility to set aside our own personal feelings, grievances and egos to do the work of spirit and the work of spirit only. That is to look after one another, to love one another and prove survival. Everything else is secondary. But it's not just about us, it's about the world. And as we live our lives day in, day out in different situations, we have to remember that we have to take each day as a fresh new start. Tomorrow, we will all be holding, or at least I hope we will all, I certainly will, and I know where I work, I will. We will be holding 2 minutes silence in commemoration of VE Day. And I think what I've just said and the suggestion that we should always have an eye on the future and the past, and those who ignore the history of our world are doomed to repeat it. Well, I think that event tomorrow definitely and certainly underpins everything that I've said on behalf of my friends of spirit. Because when I sit here and speak, I don't speak on behalf of myself. I don't speak on behalf of my needs and my wants. I allow spirit to take charge and tell everyone a little something of what they will need to hear from what they wish for the world. That is what spiritualism is, whether it's proving survival or proving the continuity of life, or whether it's giving evidence or healing. It's all about looking after each other, looking out for each other, loving one another. So thank you all for listening. And so now we are going to invite our reading up to see what the young man's got to say. We all know him as Alan Sutton. But anyone who watched the BBC in the 80s and 90s will know him as Reverend Victor. Come on up, sir. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening, Reverend.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, mate.
Well, tonight's reading is actually one of my favourite pieces from Alison Stormwolf. It's called Meditation on the Self. And I really do think that in this times where, you know, we're all going off a tree with lockdown and everything, it's a good reflective thing. So I will carry on. Who am I? I am not my name, or my name bestowed on me by others. Who am I? I am not my body, for my body is of the earth, and to the earth will return. Who am I? I am not my reflection. That is just a fleeting mirror image of my vessel. Who am I? I am not my thoughts, for my thoughts are changing as the seasons. Who am I? I am not my actions, for my actions can be disguises to fool others. Who am I? I am not my emotions. My emotions swing like the weathercock in the wind. Who am I? I am eternal energy, God's child, and a precious piece of the jigsaw. Thank you.
Wonderful. God bless you.
Thank you.
Well done.
You knew I'd like that because of my obsession with describing the world as jigsaw puzzles as well, didn't you, dear? Thank you for that. That's absolutely brilliant and so appropriate too. So thank you. Now, I do hope you two are going to stay around in case you get a message.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
I thought you might. For those watching, I developed something in my early career developing under Reverend Lynn called the requesting eyes. And when you use those eyes, you know that you do as you are told you're going to request. Is that not right?
I'm learning fast, Luke. I'm learning fast.
She's remaining very silent on that one, has not give anything away. You know, I've been looking, talking of the past, I've been looking a lot at my development and remembering a lot of conversations with Lynn over the years in the last few weeks, and I never stop enjoying those memories. And the advice she gave me to write everything down that we experienced in circle is invaluable, because my head is so full of stuff these days. I don't always remember things, but a few words on ink and a page always brings it back. So here's to a brighter, bolder and better future. And in order to achieve that, we should send our healing thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort. And after our healing silence, we will all pause the service to come together in applaud for key workers and NHS workers at 8 o'clock. I've actually got my timings right for once.
Good.
So let us all, and I'll bring everyone else who's down there at the moment back up as well. Welcome to the show, my lovelies. Here they are. So we're all together now to send out our healing thoughts. So let us join together in prayer and send out healing to all those who are sick and suffering. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we come together to join and blend and give healing to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask in the name of love, truth and light. Amen.
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 Thank you, friends. Thank you for joining together. Now, if you wish to rise up, go to a window, to a door, now is the time. Carla, bless you. Are you going to show you what's going on? Well done, dear. Look at that. She's showing out the window. Good girl.
I might lose
and
you.
I'll get. Don't drop me, dear. Don't drop me. Once again, I wish you could all hear this. It's very loud in my street tonight. But I'm afraid that I might chuck the laptop out of the window, just like Carla's worried about her phone.
Down here. Going. I'm just getting plugged back in. Here we go. Oh, wonderful. There's somebody outside with a saucepan. Carla, dear, I think I could hear you clapping all the way round the corner. I think you could.
Could you hear the saucepan then?
Well, we normally got a frying pan, so we got away lightly this week.
Ah, there we are. There we are. Well, we shall allow everyone to return. I think the fact that this has continued week in, with the dog barking and joining in, maybe from spirit, but I think the fact that this has continued week regularly proves what a decent TV is. Let me just help Lynn out by muting the puppies. So we're going to continue with our service in just a moment. Everyone's going to drop down for a moment after we've said a thank you to Lynn. And then we will have our demonstration of mediumship from the lovely Martin Quigley, who is sitting there in a lovely golden hue of orange, filled with spirit, ready to do the work. So let's just clear the screen for a moment a little bit. See you all soon. And so, Reverend Lynn, thank you for coming back on. It's always a pleasure to see you. And did you hear the fire engines this week, or were they out? Sorry, could you repeat that? Stop. Are you back?
I am back. My mic is muted.
We were both clicking it.
Oh, I see. That's about right.
That's the least of our technical worries after all we've been through over the last couple of months. So was it loud down your end of the village, love?
Yes, it was extremely loud, and I'm just delighted that it's calmed down a little bit, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to hear anything.
Bless you, bless
but
you.
No, it was. And what about your end?
Yes, I think that's probably the loudest we've ever had it. There was a few saucepans and pots and pans going on, so even better.
But the fire crew didn't sound their sirens this week.
They may be out drilling somewhere else then, for want of a better term. So, but yes, it's always a pleasure to have you on, Lynn, and thank you very much for joining us.
No.
Do you have any golden words before we begin our mediumship?
Well, I don't think that people want to hear too much from me, Reverend Nick, because you've really said enough, I think, for people to listen to and inwardly digest. And I did sort of put an idea, I hope, into people's heads about the difference between psychic work and spirit communication, for them to sort of think about that perhaps, you know, and also to just reiterate that as a society, we actually have no rules and regulations about mediumship and mediums and what they do on a public platform, unlike some organisations that shall remain nameless. And, you know, if somebody wants to, you know, use an instrument to help their, you know, vibrations, and so that they can sort of then elevate themselves to get spirit contact with some psychic work, you know, with flowers or photographs, you know, anything like that, even cards. I think that it should be allowed, and we do say that in our manifesto.
Yes.
So Martin, you know, you haven't got to worry about anything like that. I
don't use cards, Lynn. I wouldn't have a clue about the cards or anything else, really. I wing it. That's what I try and do.
Maybe I should hook you two up and you can have a bit of a play with the cards then. I'm going to stop trying pointing in the right direction.
That what is psychic should be told to people that this is psychic work. When you are getting a link with the spirit world, then you should say, I've finished my psychic work now, which is of the earthly energies, and I am now, you know, elevating my frequency, my mental condition, so that I can attune to spirit and get some information from the other side of life. So I think that we need to sort of do that if we're going to do that at all.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think I've ever done it other than as a demonstration of how it's done.
But, and one week I'm going to have you on here telling everyone about what bum sentience is.
Exactly, Reverend Nick, because we need to know the difference between what is psychic, what we're picking up from other people and their surroundings, their conditions and earthly conditions and situations, and what we're actually getting in from the world of spirit, which is over there somewhere near us, but you know, not quite the same frequency, is it? But
absolutely.
Yeah, so basically, you know, I would not want to sort of add or detract from anything that you've said, because you know the whole service is obviously, as we always say, in the care and keeping of the Great Spirit of God, and I'm sure that everything that's being done is in that love, light, and truth. So you know,
it better be.
Yes, otherwise I'll have something to say.
Yes, a few people would. Well, Reverend Lynn, thank you for coming on as ever.
No, it's my pleasure to actually see everybody doing their work and doing so well. It's just lovely. Thank you.
God bless you, my love, and I'll see you soon.
Bye, Lynn.
And all I'll say is this. Stay tuned. I might have her back next week convinced to say exactly what bum sentience is. All I will say is it does involve feeling a chair, not anything else. And on that highly spiritual note and uplifting note, I hope, I did see a few giggles downstairs. Are you ready, sir, for your first recipient?
Well, we'll go for it.
Excellent stuff. Well, my friend, I'm going to, what I will be doing as ever is I will disappear and leave you with your recipient. And then when you're getting close to the kind of time that we are constrained with via the internet, you'll see my face pop up. So don't worry, it's not me beaming in the back of your head like on the platform. It's just so that you know roughly what time it is. So have a great evening, mate. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you Martin Quigley, mediumship, and I give you his first recipient. Her name is Carla.
Hi.
Hi, Carla. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, this is different. But we'll see where we go this evening. Leave it in the hands of the spirit world. Okay. So bear with me and let me try and make a connection. Okay, I'm getting a real strong male energy around me now regarding for yourself. I know this is generation above. This feels like generation above you now. And it feels like it's on father's side. This is what it feels like to me now. And for some reason at the beginning there, is there any connection to you with dogs in the spirit world?
Possibly.
Right, stay with me. So there's not a little Jack Russell type looking dog in the spirit world that you know of? Okay. I don't know where I'm going with that one. Right. Okay. This male energy, it feels like it's connected to father. Is father in the spirit world, can I ask?
No.
Right, stay with me. Okay. Would father have should be asking, should father have a brother in the spirit world? I know this man feels connected to father. This is what it feels like to me. Oh, really? Oh, that is odd. Right. We'll try and make the connection in a little while then. I just know that this gentleman's here, and I know that he's on about you turning a corner. The words I heard was turning a corner, as if you walked up a path and you've actually turned round, and it feels like it's for the better. It feels like there was this, how would I put it? It feels like there was this almost like treading up the path like in quicksand. And it's like you've reached a point now and you've turned the corner, and it feels like now you're free to do with what you want to do. Does that make sense?
In some ways.
it feels like you're out of a situation that was holding you back. Does that make sense?
Not really, because my situation really hasn't changed.
Where are we going tonight? Would you know a Tom in the spirit world? Tom or Thomas or Tommy? Does that make sense to you?
Not that I know of.
Well, it's a great start this evening. Right. Checkers. Right. I'm going to go with what I'm getting. Am I right in saying there's quite a checkered past to yourself there, Carla? Would you understand the term checkered past? Particularly when you were sub 20. Does that make sense?
It's a checkered path.
So I'm just hearing checkered past for you.
If I may help with that, a checkered past is somewhat naughtiness. A little bit risque.
A little bit wayward in your teens. Would that make sense?
Sorry?
A little bit wayward in your teens. Would that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's all I was hearing was checkered past. Checkered. I still can't get away from this man here now. So I know he's connected to father, generation above potentially. You don't know a man in the spirit world connected to father with a little dog, like a Jack Russell dog that was connected to him.
No, not a small dog, no.
All right, where am I going with that? And who's into the classical music?
Not what I know of.
Can I apologise and interrupt a second to save you any more stress and pain? I think you've actually connected with me, young man. Because everything that you've given so far, right, especially now adding classical music, is actually me. And the Tom, you can't, hang on. Tom, that's his clock. That's Tom's clock, and everything that you've just said does with me. So tell him thank you very much. Tell him to sod off. Tell him God bless you. And then you can move on to your next link, because that's Uncle Tom coming through. So I do apologise.
Sorry about that, Carla. I can't help it comes through. I really can't help it comes through.
I'm surprised he hasn't interrupted before now. So tell him thank you, and I'll let you get a new link with.
No worries. Okay. Really strange how they work. Okay, Carla. Let me refrain and go back. Okay, two. Right, I just know now I've got two female energies drawing close to me now. I know there's two female energies drawing close for you now. And these feel very close to you. I want to say grandmother on mother's side. That's what it feels like here. Who's the other lady? Would you say understand grandmother on mother's side being fairly soft? Would you understand her being a fairly soft lady?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because as she's drawn here now, I feel like the other lady's letting her talk, and I feel the other lady was a bit harder in her stance and in her ways. But I feel Mum's mum is very soft, gentle natured. And I feel that you were very closely connected to this lady. Would that make sense? Mum's mum. This is grandmother here now. She wants to be known here now. Okay. She actually feels like now she wants to tell you off. Because am I right in saying that you put yourself down a fair bit? This makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Because in my ear now, what she's saying to me is, please tell her to get herself together, because she doesn't give herself the credit that she should. This is what it feels like now. And I feel that you've been in... Okay. You understand a rut within yourself? You know the term, being in a bit of a rut yourself. This is what she's on about now. You're in this rut, and you can't get yourself out of it. You know, I was on about the quicksand earlier, where you're treading water and you're treading quicksand. I just feel like what she's doing, she's looking down. Okay, and don't take this the wrong way. She's certainly not disappointed in yourself, but she's disappointed that you can't push yourself forward. Does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As long as it makes sense to you, I'm only going to reiterate what she's coming through with. I don't know why. You know, I don't know if it's a coccy's or a crab apple, but a green apple, for some reason, she's just put in my mindset. Would you understand why she'd be giving me a green apple? It's green as green. It's not a red one. It's a green apple for you.
No.
Okay. So on Halloween, have you got any memories with Gran apple bobbing? You know, the apple bobbing.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, but good time, apple bobbing up and down. I don't know why she's giving me this, but she just wants me to give you this green apples bobbing up and down, because there's something she wants to go on about your infectious laugh. Do you know when you actually get going yourself? Does it make sense? When you let yourself go, there's something about your laugh she's on about, an infectious laugh. There's a particular way you laugh. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what she's making me feel now. And it's going back to them times of old where you let yourself fully go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's like over the last 5 years or so, you've become more serious within yourself. Does that make sense? It feels like for some reason 5 years you've sort of like gone semi in your shell. Does that make sense? And you're not letting the world fully see who you are. It's almost like you're frightened to show the world what you can do. And I know that what she's saying is there's something that you want to do, but you can't pursue it. Does that make sense? There's something in particular, Gran's on about, that you want to do. You want to achieve something in life, but you're not letting yourself do it. And there's not the disappointment in you, it's the disappointment that you're not letting yourself do it, because Gran is saying that you're more than capable of achieving what you need to do, and you only get this one stab at this particular life, you're saying, so you need to harness it and push forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And for some reason she keeps going on about how when you were young you were just too cute. Does that make sense? Too cute. She's on about being too cute. This is what Nan's saying anyway. So I'll leave you with that. What is that? What's she doing with her hands? Am I right in saying there was something particular about Nan's hands? Nan's hands. She's just doing all sorts of her hands at the moment. She's crossing them, she's doing them, and she's moving them in and out. They're not being still. They're not being still with these hands. And I don't know what she's doing, but I'm just relaying to you. I can just see her mucking around with her hands, and just they're everywhere. Does that make sense?
100%.
As long as you understand. Okay. Okay, she's telling me she's fine. She's very happy. She just wants you to let yourself go. And I know that Nan had what she would say was a full and nurturing life. Does that make sense? A full and nurturing life. She was content with her life. Does that make sense? Yeah. I just feel that she's saying to me, I was content with my life, and I was brave enough in life as well. And I just know that Nan wants you to take a bit of that bravery that she had and push forward with your aspirations. This is what she's trying to say. Aspirations. So it's a sort of like a finger wagging episode tonight, when Nan's coming and she's waving that finger at you and saying, "Come on, you know I love you, always have and always will, but I want you to do your best." Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And she wants to say, she keeps going on how to tell her how beautiful you are. You must know how beautiful you are. This is what Nan's saying. Make sure I tell you how beautiful you really are, because you need to know that. Does that make sense? Okay. And I know Nan is at peace, happy, and well in the spirit world. And with that, I'll leave her love.
Thank you.
Well, Carla.
I don't know who the other lady is, but she might be the other Nan, but she just feels like she wanted Mum's mum to come through, and just helping her along, not pushing her in the room.
Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully that was okay for you, Carla.
That's
You're more than welcome.
Well, I don't know about you,
Thank
Carla,
you,
but I have a confession now. I can tell you what the lady's name was. The reason being is because she's on this cassette tape here, and I've got to say that I knew Carla's grandmother before I knew Carla, and she and I trod the boards of Littleport Village Hall, and here is proof of it.
Really?
When I was 16 in Aladdin. So I've got to say that, because people will say, well, you know Carla and you knew her grandmother, and well, I did, but you don't. And even for me, you described her to a T. Ros was a lovely woman. Now you're done, I can say that. And she still is, and she quite frequently visits us at work, doesn't she, dear?
She does.
So
I hope you really enjoyed that.
Energy with her.
And
I happen. Finger though, Nick, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I remember her.
She was waving that finger.
I have to admit, I remember her waving her finger at me on the stage many a time when I was misbehaving as a young child. And I also
you probably needed it though.
Well,
I imagine you were a very naughty boy, Mr. Brown.
Well, when one talks of a checkered youth from one's great uncle, I say no more. Interestingly enough, Tom actually knew Ros, so there we are. It's a small world.
Really?
Yes, they did know each other.
God bless them.
So he was probably just interfering, bless his heart. So thank you for coming on, Carla. I hope you had a good one. I can see that Jess and Joe have enjoyed the message coming through as well. So I'll say thank you for coming on, darling, and God bless you.
Thanks for the invite. Thank you.
See you soon.
Good night.
Well done, mate. There we go. Uncle Tom interfering again. So I will now give you your next recipient. There is a young lady called Samantha waiting in the wings, and an even younger lady called Hannah. You take your pick, love, or both. I don't mind which. So it's over to you again, mate. Oh, one of you might like to scooch to the side, though. There we go.
Evening, guys. I remember seeing you two before. I can't hear you. What's happened to the volume, Nick?
They need to click. There you go.
Once never forgotten.
How you doing? You're okay?
We're fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad under the circumstances. Just been doing a load of jobs that I never get time to do around the house, so quite been furloughed, as I say. So we'll give it a go and we'll see who's going to connect for you two guys. And I know instantly I've got a man that's trying to drum next to me now. So there's a gentleman here, and I just feel like this man straight away just feels like father to you, Samantha. I just feel now that I'm very strong energy. Okay. What is that? Bear with me. Crikey. Is Father in the spirit world, Samantha?
No. No.
Stay with me. It just feels like a really significant male that's passed to the spirit world for you. Can you understand what I'm saying?
I think I know.
I just know that there's a man here and he's coming in with a lot of love for you. I know he's coming in with a lot of love for you, and what he's actually going on about, and I'm oh yeah. And I feel like he passed like in his 50s. I don't think he's made old bones, but I just feel he's sort of like late 40s to 60-year-old, that sort of time. Would you understand who that could be?
Not that age, but that's not who I was thinking.
Okay. Stay with me. Maybe it's just me bringing in my conscious mind in. Right. I just know I've got a gentleman here, and I know the main thing is coming through to me is the courage that you have shown in life. Does this make sense? The courage that you have shown in life yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Because he's trying to give you, he's trying to give you credit for various things that you've had in life. There's been many brick walls that you've driven into. Does that make sense in any way?
Well, there's been a few.
Yeah, I feel there's two in particular. It's almost like you got head first into the brick wall. You've shaken yourself off and you've gone on with it. If you know what I mean. But we're talking particular events that have led that way.
Okay.
Who is he? Who is this man? Do you know a David in the spirit world? Is there a David connected to you?
No,
David?
No.
No, if it's not, it's not. And is there a Sharon around you? I'm just listening to what I'm hearing here now. Is Sharon around you?
No,
Sometimes we go a bit wayward. I don't know what I'm getting here. Stay with me, Samantha. Stay with me. I know this gentleman's still here. Have you got any? What would I be seeing? You know the fairy liquid bottle. It's really generic, but you know the little fairy liquid, and the little fairy liquid bottle. So I'm just something going on there with fairy liquid and fairy and washing hands or something to do with that. I don't know what it is, but would you understand why I'm getting this image?
Well,
in any way,
a lot of fairies in our house. If it could be that.
Maybe that's their way of getting into my thick skull. And I just know it's the little man on the fairy. The little man on the fairy bottle. For some reason, I'm seeing for you here, and I'm just trying to get more out of this gentleman. The gentleman you were thinking of, would you understand him as being a man of few words and fairly quiet? Would that make sense?
Sorry, man of few words and.
The gentleman that you initially thought when I said to you earlier,
yeah,
before I said about the age, would you understand him as being a man of very few words? He only chosen words. He would only speak when he needed to speak. Does that make sense? He didn't waste his words. I don't feel he got into a conversation for the sake of it. It's what it feels like. Does that make sense in any way? If it doesn't, it doesn't. But.
Not as I knew him, no.
Right. So I'm really trying to get over there. It's all right. And for some reason, I don't know where we're going with this. I'm getting April for you as well. April connection. So that's connected to this man as well, or yourself. April connection. Really odd. I bet it's for someone else. Watching online. Right. Let's see what else we can get. And I just feel this man was quite rugged. Does it make sense? Unshaven some of the time as well. this is the energy I'm feeling at the moment, this man, but I'm not getting, at first it felt like he was coming in really strong for you, and all of a sudden it's like, whomp, pulled himself back.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting and budgeted loads of the names in my head. Do you know a Terry as well? Terry. No.
Not immediately in the family, no.
No. Well, what else have we got there? Big picture frame, horizontal. As I shut my eyes there to try and focus more, I've got a big picture frame that's on the horizontal.
Okay.
Rectangle picture frame. It feels like it's on the horizontal. The gentleman concerned, would you understand a picture with this frame? He's just showing me a frame here, but a picture in this frame.
There is a big family photograph we have on the horizontal.
It's got to be on the horizontal. On the horizontal.
Yeah.
Horizontal. No. Well, if you can't take much of it, I don't know what I'm gobbling on about, really. Let's see what else is. Anything else we can pull out of this? Right. Right, it's going right off topic here. Have you had any problems with your plumbing in your house at the moment, Samantha? Issues with your plumbing in the house?
No.
Oh, we're really off. I don't know who we're getting that from. That's really strange. It's like there's something not draining right in the house. It makes no sense whatsoever.
I said I don't know about it yet.
No, I'm talking gobbledygook. Let me see. And for some reason, do you know the name Eve?
Eve.
E-V-E.
I know of Eve, yeah. Not family though.
Right. Why am I getting that? Am I right in saying, or probably not tonight, the way I'm going on, right in saying that you're fairly good with your history?
Depends what you want to know.
Like it feels like certain stuff to do with like biblical events, the Bible and stuff like that. I don't know if that makes any sense or it's a load of old baloney I'm talking here, but I'm just going with what I'm getting this evening, and it's obviously not been directed at the right person.
No, sorry.
It's more. It's really weird, Samantha. Right. And the last, I'm going to go with this last one because it's not really going smoothly with this link. Is there any reason why you'd have a wheelbarrow around your house at the moment as well? Are you planning to do, I don't know, like works around the house?
Well, my husband's a builder. He has a wheelbarrow.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a wheelbarrow going around. Really strange. And in your garden, is there like a very strange bird flying about at the moment in your garden? It seems a bit odd, but I'm just seeing like there's mischievous one. Does that make any sense at all? in your garden. I think we've had a bad one there, Nick.
Sorry.
1 second though. Samantha, would you just swing the camera to your left a second?
Oh, I can't work it out.
Hello, sweetie. How are you?
Good.
Those names that Martin was saying at the beginning, are they names that you've been given by your friends? Any of them?
Yeah.
They might be, mightn't they? I thought they might be.
Oh,
and would you understand that there's been a lot of mischievous happenings in your garden with your friends lately?
yes.
Well, next time, poke your mum and tell her it's not for her, it's for you.
Sorry.
That's all right.
The medium should have asked. The medium should have asked.
We live and learn, love. At the end of the day, you'd have been able to have seen her in front of you. I should have jumped in sooner. I'll give you a couple of minutes to just let Hannah know what her friends are out to tell her.
Right. So, is there any truth in this thing to do with the fairies? Does that make any sense? Because as I've gone back to you now, it's not the fairy bottle, it's the, like your mum was saying about these fairies mucking around in the garden. So am I right in saying that you've actually seen little fairies?
Yes.
You are very lucky, because I've always wanted to see a fairy. Now, I've seen an angel, and that's God's honest truth. But if you've seen a fairy, you're a very lucky girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It seems really strange me talking about this, Hannah, but would you understand that they try and play with you as well?
Yeah. Play tricks on. Yeah.
Yes, this is what I'm feeling. Now, is there two in particular?
Yeah.
Do you recognise two of them? Do you recognise two of them? And am I right in saying that there's who?
Daniel.
Daniel. Is there one male, one female? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just this. There's quite a few, believe it or not.
Ah, okay. Let's see what else we can get. Let me just try and tune in. Something to do with your hair, Hannah. Have you let your hair grow of late, like really long?
Couldn't get to the hairdressers, so yeah. You haven't been to the hairdressers? No.
Yeah. Okay. And you don't like it too long. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Really, have you been making bread in the kitchen with your mum? Would that make sense?
Mum?
Baking in the kitchen.
We made a cake. Made a cake. But not bread.
I just know that I was showing this thing like baking for you too. And who out of the two is the bread lover? Because I know I'm being shown like freshly baked bread as well. So,
probably both.
Or is there a connection to the Is there a connection to the bakery in any way with you two?
Pizza bread.
What was that?
Pizza bread.
Right.
Oh, pizza bread. Pizza. Yeah. Sorry, we never think of the pizza.
I'm still waiting for
Agnes.
Yeah.
Well, what else can we throw in? I don't know what the April connection is, but also a February connection as well. Does February make any sense to you, Hannah?
Your auntie's birthday. Yeah. Got an auntie's birthday in February.
That's a bit random, but and nothing to do with April. It feels like it's the end of April, just gone by. or the 24th of the month. 24. I don't know why I'd get 24, but I'll give you that. If you can take it, you take it. If you can't, you can't.
Well, we'll have a think about it. Thank you, Martin.
Okay. Wish I could give you more. This is quite difficult over the line, but hopefully I'll see you in person. I'll see you in person sometime this year, the pair of you.
Lovely. Look forward to it.
God bless the both of you.
Thank you. Can you say bye?
God bless.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't go
Take
anywhere,
care.
you two. Don't go anywhere, you two, because it's
No,
your
no.
turn anyway. But thank you for that. Now, I bet you weren't expecting that to come through in a message, young man.
Well, no, that makes. I could just see the little man on the fairy bottle, and then it's led to that, and then no.
Hannah, when we get back to church and when we're all meeting up again properly, and when Martin's booked in to see us, you'll have to bring him what you showed me that you made.
Yes.
There you go. And then it
Oh,
will
really?
all make sense and you will all perfectly understand. Yeah. I can see a couple of
I'll
beaming
look forward
faces
to it.
underneath who are absolutely ecstatic because they know exactly what's going on because they've seen it too. So really well done on that. And I wish I'd have dove in a little sooner, but it just suddenly dawned on me that there was someone else in the room. But there we are. So well done, guys. So Hannah, we're coming up to our final message of the evening. So what is it?
Yeah, bully.
Bully special prize. Thank you, Hannah. Love you. Thank you, Sam. Love you both.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Now, my friend, for your final message of the evening, you have two to pick from. So hopefully Spirit will help you in giving you somebody for one of them. But I'm going to tell you here and now that there's two of them on the screen, just in case you can't see both of them. Because when they get squished like that, you can't always see both. So there are two people in the room. So it's back to Penny. I very nearly said the wrong word. There we go. Hello, love. So I will leave you to it for a few minutes and say God bless you and good love, and everything else. God bless you.
How you doing, guys?
How you
doing,
I can take anything. I can hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Martin.
Good evening, guys. Hello, Alan. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah.
Good
You
stuff.
realise you got
Hopefully I'll get to see you.
the price of one, don't you?
Well, we'll see where we go. It's really weird because I should have said something at the beginning, but I'll carry on with it now. I know that I've got Mother here for you, Penny. Does that make sense? Okay. Mother in the spirit world. And I know her for you before. I know her for you before, and I should have said before you come on, I thought it was going to be you because immediately I saw a Robin Redbreast. And I know that we've spoken about this in the past. I know there's this little male Robin Redbreast that is mischievous in your garden. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he was only here this morning.
Really? Because I just see he's quite a nosy little fella, but very friendly. And I know he's collected to mum and dad. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
With them? Yeah.
Thank you.
In fact, is there two at times?
Yes. Yeah.
Because all of a sudden now, I know there's the main culprit, the regular one, but at times there's the sidekick. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There's two in our garden.
Yeah, it's 4.
Oh, 4?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Right. 2 pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening. You're all right.
Okay.
Okay. I just know that I've got Mother here, Penny, and I know there's an immense pride from Mother to what you are doing in life, and I just feel you're at a junction yourself in life where you're trying to push forward now with something different. Does it make sense? And you're trying to do something different within the spiritual realm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like you're diverting. It feels like the pair of you and I know you're the driving force. This is what it feels like. Mother's saying you're the driving force behind this, Penny. And I know that it's something completely different. It's within the spiritual realm as well, but you're trying something different out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's what it just feels like. And she said, you go for it, girl. This is what it's like. She's right behind you. She's trying to push the wind, trying to push you back, trying to get you to move forward, you know, and don't hang about of this. Do you understand? It's like she's just really trying to push you up that path. That's what it feels like. Don't know why I'm seeing gravy, as in gravy. Would you understand why I'm getting gravy from Mum? Gravy, and more gravy. Gravy, does that make sense?
This is the gravy king that's sat next to me.
Gravy, and gravy. And gravy on gravy. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been married? Is this your second marriage, Penny?
It is, yeah.
Right, because I just know, and I don't know this, but I just know that Mother's on about and trying to give immense credit to Alan, and he's saying, she's saying that this is your second marriage, and what a lovely gentleman and what that Alan is, and how good he is, and how supportive he is for you, and she couldn't have picked anyone better for you to be with at this stage in your life to guide you through the path. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I just feel Mum here really trying to get that through now. For Alan there. Right, something to do with looking at a calendar. Am I right in saying there's been some sort of thing over the last week or so where the pair of you have been looking into a calendar and trying to plan things in a calendar? And it doesn't feel like a holiday, but there's something like planning going ahead for the months ahead. That makes sense in any way?
We have looked at the calendar, but not on.
Might be the drumming.
Yeah.
Let me ask a bit more and see if there's.
We're trying to look forward to a drumming circle, Martin, and we've been looking at to sort of preempt when it's going to happen. To be fair, which under the circumstances.
Because you understand where, like most at the moment, you've exhausted most things that you can do in the home. Does that make sense? And one of you is really stewing. There's one of you that's really stewing in this lockdown. Does that make sense to you? That you can't. Right, what is she saying? One of you just can't wait to break free. You know the Queen song, right? Yeah, I'm just hearing the Queen song. I want to break free.
That's really funny.
What was that, Penny?
I've been singing that very song. I want to break free.
I've heard your mum singing it in my ear. I could just hear her singing it in my ear, and it's like I knew one of you, and then she's saying, "I just want to break free," and I could hear your mum singing it. So God bless your mum. She's doing really well. Is there a Frank for you as well? Do you understand Frank?
I do.
Al does.
In the spirit world.
Yeah. It's my father's uncle.
Right. Okay. And his father's in the spirit world, Alan?
Yes.
Would you understand him being quite organised and regimental?
Yes, he is. He was, yeah.
Yeah. Almost like he should have been in the army. That sort of feel.
Come again.
Almost like he was either in the army or should have been in the army. This is what I feel with Father. Very organised, very regimental in his ways.
He was very regimental in his ways, and he tried to join up many times, but was refused because he was agricultural. was a farmer,
Right.
so he
And the
wasn't
disappointment was there, because that makes sense now. As I said to you, we understand him, you know, was either in the army or should have been in the army. That makes sense now, the feeling I had from him, where there's also, you can understand the disappointment of not actually achieving that goal. Okay. Now, what does Father want? I just know that his energy is stepping in before the end of the link here now. You had a couple of little health issues yourself of late. That makes sense, Alan.
I have over the last few years, but they're pretty steady. Like, I mean, they're underlying, but they're there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Really weird. Have you got? I don't know if it's your father or you. Something to do with your toes. Have you? Is there some sort of funny thing to do with your toes? It's almost like, I don't know if he's taking the mick here, but it's like you're dipping your toes into something, and I'm not sure if it's you're squeamish or ticklish or something to do with your toes. I might be going off, but he's on about the feet and toes, your father.
To be touched.
Right, that makes sense. Because I know Father was on about
feet to be touched. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense as evidence from your father, but I think there's a secondary thing to that as well. Now, he's on about you dipping your toes into something. Dipping your toes into something. Okay, really weird, and it's probably quite off the spectrum here. Would you understand when you go to some of these strange places? I don't know if there's some of them might be spiritual events, or it could be anywhere in the country or on a holiday where you've got these like pools of water with a little fish in there where you put your feet in, and the fish come and clean your feet. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have. I visited one in Turkey.
Right. And was there a bit of a strange happening where you went over my dead body? Would you understand?
Yeah,
you would understand that the term. Yeah, I know. It's just Father's just giving me this as like a memory link here now, because I know it wasn't just your ticklish with the toes. There was him on about you dipping your toes in and then being reluctant. I know that from your father and from your mother, Penny, that there's this real big positivity going around you at the moment with what you're pushing forward with. And I know that you've got both their blessings going forward to achieve these goals. And one-way street, just keep pushing forward with what you're doing. I don't know what it is, but I know that they're behind you in a big way, and nothing but praise from the spirit world for what you guys are doing.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Right. And I'll leave their love with you. Thank you. Yeah. Leave their love, and I look forward to seeing you in the future, guys.
Yeah.
God bless.
Take care. Stay safe.
God bless.
Cheers, my lovelies. You earn yourself a jammy dodger.
Oh!
It's here ready for you. I will look after it for you. Along with the rest of the packet. Along with the rest of the packet. The jammy dodgers have returned. Hello.
There's the two of us, don't forget. Have we got to share one?
Forgotten. Well, no, you get the jammy dodgers, love. I'll get him some chocolate so he doesn't nick yours again.
Brilliant.
Oh, it's a revealing night tonight, my lovelies. It's a revealing night. Well, thank you both for coming back on, and thank you for a wonderful demonstration. I'm going to bring everyone who's still online back up so get ready, put your teeth and your tea down and everything, because you're coming back on to say a big Littleport thank you to the lovely Martin Quigley.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So thank you all.
I've got to say, it's very different. It's very different doing it this way.
I totally sympathise, yeah.
But I just think in any aspect in life, if you be brave and give it a go, that's it as we can do. So.
Or as a certain young lady, a certain young lady down in that direction would say, "Courage, brother, do not stumble." And, so there is your absolute a biblical quotation that came through regarding my message. So Definitely a brilliant thank you from all of us, Martin. So as we're all here, jammy dodgers in hand, let us all join together for our closing prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, and to work together to prove that life is indeed eternal. We thank you for your gifts. We thank you for your challenges, equally both, for we know that they are valued and varied in this life. And as ever, as we go out into the world, and as I ask for a blessing to be placed on each person here present, watching, and who will watch, be it live or later on, we make the statement as ever, that everything we do will be in the name of love and truth and light, and that we ask you not to move the mountain, just give us the strength to climb. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends.
It's lovely to see you lot. And lovely to see you all, and hopefully I'll get to see you this year.
Lovely to see you.
Absolutely. Well, Wendy is still watching, our medium secretary, so she will hold you to that, I guarantee it. So
I'll be there. I love serving you guys. You gave me a chance a couple of years ago, and I love coming up to see you. It's always a pleasure.
Always welcome, my friend. Always welcome. Welcome back, Reverend Lynn. How are you, my dear?
I'm much better and better lit, thank you.
Yes, we have noticed that the camera has changed. Yes, welcome back. You still have a slight golden hue. It's just not so glaringly bright and white.
Well, I'd like to thank Martin for his endeavours, because you got there in the end with everybody.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was excellent.
I've been in this game, I think it's 5 years, Deming, Lynn, and it ain't an easy game. And if anyone out there wants to get into it, you've just got to knuckle down and do your best. And that's all we can ever try.
Absolutely. Well done.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the service. Our time is almost up, but I want to finish by saying once again, thank you to Martin. Thank you to Reverend Alan. Thank you to the lovely Sam and the lovely Hannah. And of course, to our Principal Minister, Reverend Lynn, down that way. And thank you all for watching, for being part of something, for keeping the spirit alive, and for continuing to work together, to looking after each other and loving one another. So from everyone here at Littleport, or via Littleport's internet connection at the very least, we say from here, good night, God bless.
Good night.
And if my dad was here, he would say that the kitchen is now open. God bless you all. See you next week, when we have got John Ennis, the Reverend John Ennis, as our medium. So be back here 7:30 as normal. John Ennis, God bless you all. Good night. And we are now signing off. Good night.
Good night. Good night.